Okay, folks, here's a quick review of the Nightwing figure that was produced by DC Collectibles as a part of their Arkham City line of products. I picked this up through an online website called Comics Plus for $21.49, and this is part of the 4th series of the DC Collectibles Arkham City figures. Now, there is a bit of a story behind this acquisition. This figure arrived in a shipping box that can only be described as pitifully damaged, thanks to the stellar, and yes, I say that very sarcastically, package handling skills of the United States Postal Service. If you want to read more details about what happened, I wrote about this incident on the Toy Ark and the Marvel Universe Collector Club forums. So I'm going to say this to the United States Postal Service employees that I've been cursed to have to work with. You guys really suck. Anyway, enough with the Postal Service rant. Let's get back to the review. That's why we're here. Anyway, Mattel also produced a Nightwing figure for its Arkham City line of products, and I did a little bit of research on the two figures and compared pictures of them, so I decided to go on ahead and gamble and get this one, as it just looked to be much better looking. Thankfully, I was glad that I didn't have to pay an exorbitant price for this figure, since this version of Nightwing is very expensive. And on a side note, if you happen to know why this version of Nightwing is so expensive, let me know in the comment section below. So anyway, when I first got Nightwing out of his packaging, I liked what I saw. The pictures of this figure that I saw online, they were accurate. And this figure has a really nice looking sculpt, and it is quite pleasing to look at. Paint apps were nicely done on this figure with no appreciable errors to speak of. I like Nightwing's skin tone coloration on his face and the look of his costume. Nightwing's eyes were also nicely detailed behind his mask, and I was glad to see that. The articulation joints were frozen in place, so I had to use a hairdryer to loosen them up. Nightwing doesn't have the articulation options that the Arkham City Batman from Series 4 does, but he does have articulation in the neck, the shoulders, the upper biceps, the elbows, the wrists, the hips, the knees, and at the top of his boots. I wasn't pleased to see that Nightwing seems to be perpetually looking downward, since his head can only move left to right and has little to no up and down movement. And I also didn't like that there was no waist or mid-torso articulation, so it appears that getting action poses out of this figure is going to be a little bit on the challenging side. So let me pause here, zoom in, and I'll give you a closer look as to what Nightwing looks like. Okay. All right, Nightwing came with 2 accessories, so let me pan down real quick and I'll show you what they look like. Now, unfortunately, there was no figure stand included in the packaging, but unlike Batman, I had a much easier time getting Nightwing to stand upright without having to use a figure stand. There are peg holes in his feet to use a figure stand if you so choose, but I fail to see why a figure stand wasn't included in the first place, considering the price point that these figures are selling for. Alright, so as you can see, Arkham City Nightwing comes with 2 Eskrima sticks. Now, I like the coloring and the detailing on these Eskrima sticks, as they just look so much better than the pictures of the Eskrima sticks that came with the Mattel version of Arkham City Nightwing. And also of note, this Nightwing figure has holders on the back of his costume for these Eskrima sticks, and I thought that was a nice touch. Back to the figure itself. What I'll do now is a quick 360 of Arkham City Nightwing for you, and let you see what he looks like from all sides. So here he is from the front. Here he is from the left. From the rear. The right-hand side. Finally, here we are once again, facing forward. So overall, I have to say that I like this figure. If what I saw online is accurate, I think this Nightwing figure looks much more appealing than the Mattel figure, and the Eskrima sticks look a lot better than what was pictured with the Mattel figure. Having a storage option for the Eskrima sticks was good to see too. However, Nightwing doesn't have the articulation options that the Arkham City Series 4 Batman has. And Nightwing's always looking downward. That was a bit of a disappointment. Getting a figure stand in the package would have been nice too, but, as I said, Nightwing can stand fairly easily without one. But in spite of that, I think this figure does have quite a bit going for it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll give him a great recommendation, but with some reservations, as I really think that he makes for a nice complement to the Series 4 Arkham City Batman figure. Okay, so on that note, take care and stay tuned for my next review. Have a good one.